Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So, for the discussion today, we have selected 2 verses from the 7th canto, chapter 14 of the Bhagavatam. And this chapter talks about ideal family life. Is that a good topic?
Yes.
Are you all in family life or one sannyas? So we'll see what advice the Bhagavatam has to offer. The Bhagavatam is perfect. Okay, so it's Acts 1 and 2, chapter 14, cāñjasā. Those smart people probably have smartphones, and those who are really smart, they have the Bhagavatam on the smartphone. How many of you have the Bhagavatam on your smartphone? Okay. You all are really smart then. Okay. śrī-yudhiṣṭhira gṛhastha etāṁ padavīṁ vidhinā yena cāñjasā yāyād deva-ṛṣe brūhi mādṛśo gṛha-mūḍha-dhīḥ śrī-yudhiṣṭhira gṛhastha etāṁ padavīṁ vidhinā yena cāñjasā yāyāt deva-ṛṣe brūhi mādṛśo gṛha-mūḍha-dhīḥ gṛhastha etāṁ padavīṁ vidhinā yena cāñjasā yāyāt deva-ṛṣe brūhi mādṛśo gṛha-mūḍha-dhīḥ. Mataji.
śrī-yudhiṣṭhira Mahārāja. etāṁ padavīṁ. vidhinā yena cāñjasā. yāyāt deva-ṛṣe brūhi.
Okay, word meaning translation.
Śrī-yudhiṣṭhira Mahārāja, Yudhiṣṭhira Mahārāja said, gṛhastha, a person living with his family, etāṁ, this, the process mentioned in the previous chapter. Padavīṁ, position of liberation. Vidhinā, according to the instructions of Vedic scriptures. Yena, by which. Also. Añjasā, easily. Yāyād, beget. Deva-ṛṣe, O great sage among the demigods. Brūhi, kindly explain. mādṛśo, such as me. gṛha-mūḍha-dhīḥ, completely ignorant of the goal of life. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai. Maharaj Yudhiṣṭhira inquired from Narada Muni, O my Lord, O great sage, kindly explain how we who are staying at home without knowledge of the goal of life may also easily attain liberation according to the instructions of the Vedas.
Responsibly.
Please repeat. Maharaj Yudhiṣṭhira inquired from Narada Muni, O my Lord, O great sage, kindly explain how we who are staying at home without knowledge of the goal of life may also easily attain liberation according to the instructions of the Vedas. Purport. In the previous chapters, the great sage Narada has explained how a brahmachari, a vanaprastha, and a sannyasi should act. He first explained the dealings of a brahmachari, vanaprastha, and sannyasi because these three ashrams or statuses of life are extremely important for fulfillment of the goal of life. One should note that in the brahmachari ashram, vanaprastha ashram, and sannyas ashram, there is no scope for sex life, whereas sex is allowed in the gṛhastha life under regulations. Narada Muni therefore first described brahmacharya, vanaprastha, and sannyas because he wanted to stress that sex is not at all necessary, although one who absolutely requires it is allowed to enter the gṛhastha life or household life, which is also regulated by the Shastras and Guru. Yudhiṣṭhira Mahārāja could understand all this. Therefore, as a gṛhastha, he presented himself as gṛha-mūḍha-dhīḥ, one who is completely ignorant of the goal of life. A person who remains a householder in family life is certainly ignorant of life's goal. He is not very much advanced in intelligence. As soon as possible, one should give up his so-called comfortable life at home and prepare to undergo austerity or tapasya, tapo-divyam putrika, according to the instructions given by Rishabdev to his sons. We should not create a so-called comfortable situation. We must prepare to undergo austerity. This is how a human being should actually live to fulfill life's ultimate goal.
Read the next one. In order to understand this verse completely, we'll read the next verse also. Just do the translation and purport.
Translation. Narada Muni replied, My dear King Yudhiṣṭhira, my dear King, those who stay at home as householders must act to earn their livelihood. And instead of trying to enjoy the results of their work themselves, they should offer these results to Krishna, Vāsudeva. How to satisfy Vāsudeva in this life can be perfectly understood through the association of great devotees of the Lord.
Purport.
The format for gṛhastha life should be dedication to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Bhagavad Gita 6.1 it is said, Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti ya sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niraghir chakriya. One who is unattached to the fruits of his work and who works as he is obligated is in the renounced order of life, and he is the true mystic, not he who lights no fire and performs no work. Whether one acts as a brahmachari, gṛhastha, vanaprastha, or sannyasi, he must act only for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. This should be the principle for everyone's life. Narada Muni has already described the principles of life for a brahmachari, vanaprastha, and sannyasi, and now he is describing how a gṛhastha should live. The basic principle is to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The science of satisfying the Supreme Lord can be learned as described here. Sakshat Upashita Mahamuni. The word Mahamuni refers to great saintly persons or devotees. Saintly persons are generally known as Muni, or thoughtful philosophers concerned with transcendental subject matters. And Mahamuni refers to those who have not only thoroughly studied the goal of life, but are actually engaged in satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. These persons are known as devotees. Unless one associates with devotees, one cannot learn the science of Vasudeva Arpana, or dedicating one's life to Vasudeva, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In India, the principles of this science were followed strictly. Even 50 years ago, I saw that in the villages of Bengal and the suburbs of Calcutta, people engaged in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam daily when all their activities ended, or at least in the evening before going to bed. Everyone would hear the Bhagavatam. Bhagavata classes were held in every village, and thus people had the advantage of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, which describes everything about the aim of life, liberation or salvation. This will be clearly explained in the next verse.
Om Gyan Timandasya Gyananjana Sharakya Chakshurmridanye Shri Chaitanya Manav Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Nandanandan Prabhu, after you speak for some time, you could also speak. After I speak for some time, you can also give your views on this verse. Would you like to speak a little? śrī-yudhiṣṭhira uvāca etāṁ padavīṁ vidhinā yena cāñjasā yāyād deva-ṛṣe brūhi gṛha-mūḍha-dhīḥ. Srimad Bhagavatam has information virtually on every topic. That's why Prabhupada said many times, everything we need to know is there in these books. The Narada Muni had already explained the duties and responsibility of brahmachari, vanaprastha and sannyas. In the Vedic definition, society should be divided into 4 social and spiritual orders. These social orders are Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra. And brahmachari, gṛhastha, vanaprastha, sannyas. Regardless of which varna or ashram you belong to, the goal should be pleasing the Supreme Lord. So over here, Yudhiṣṭhira Mahārāja is asking a very important question. There is no question that Yudhiṣṭhira Mahārāja was not in ignorance. It's not that Yudhiṣṭhira Mahārāja didn't know what the responsibilities are. For our benefit, for the benefit of humanity, he has presented this question. Just like in the Gita we see Arjuna asking questions and the Lord replying. It's not that Arjuna really got bewildered, but he was put in that position so the Bhagavad Gita could be spoken for the benefit of humanity. Similarly, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we see there are questions and answers. Questions that the common man would present is being presented by advanced devotees. Last night we were mentioning how Devavati inquired from her son Kapila there. So Yudhiṣṭhira Mahārāja is doing all of us a big favor. He has presented questions that we may have. So what is Yudhiṣṭhira saying? Oh my Lord, now the Muni is also addressed as Bhagavan. Why? Because he is presenting the philosophy that one should surrender to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, in several places, now the Muni gets addressed as Bhagavan. O great sage, kindly explain of those who are staying at home without knowledge of the goal of life. So, Yudhiṣṭhira Mahārāja is saying, how should those who live at home in family life, how should they act? But he wanted to know how they should act based on the scriptures, not whimsically what they should live. He wanted to know what is the Vedic guideline. Veda means knowledge, and the Vedas are presenting eternal knowledge. It's not that the Vedic message is limited to people of one country or one community. Prabhupada's books are being read all over the world. He has established. Can you hear me clearly in the back?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear on the right side too? Prabhupada's message, that the Vedic message is Sanatan, eternal, and meant for entire humanity. So Yudhiṣṭhira's question is, how should we, who are living at home, achieve perfection based on the Vedic message? Vedas were compiled by the Lord, who appeared as Vyasadeva to give us this Vedic message. The word Veda means knowledge. So we should similarly, in all our dealings, find out what is the Vedic message and what is the Vedic view. And if we take on all the questions, you'll find the answers are there in the Bhagavad Gita or the Bhagavatam. At one time, our BVT had designed an advertising campaign for the Bhagavad Gita, and it said, book that answers all questions. That's a fact. So King Yudhiṣṭhira wants to know how should those who are in the gṛhastha ashram achieve perfection. Some people think that gṛhastha ashram is so liberal. You do whatever you like and there's no consequence. No. The gṛhastha ashram means a situation where one lives to achieve perfection. And opposed to gṛhastha ashram, we have the word gṛha-mūḍha-dhīḥ. What does gṛha-mūḍha-dhīḥ mean? One engages, one lives with his wife and family, but everyone's goal is sense enjoyment. Eat, drink and be merry, as is commonly understood. So that is in the gṛha-mūḍa-dhīḥ situation, where one doesn't have any concept of how rare the human birth is, and no knowledge how human life should be lived. They live virtually like animals, and they're happy. And when you tell them, please, get up, Jeev Jago, they say, let us do what we want. Prabhupada used to give an example. There was once a person flying a kite, and he was about to fall off the terrace. And somebody rushed and said, careful, you're going to fall off the roof. He said, don't bother me, let me fly. So similarly, we approach people with nectarian knowledge. Some who are fortunate take to it, and those that are unfortunate, they are rejected. Nevertheless, the devotee business is to go on attempting. So Yudhiṣṭhira Mahārāja wants to know, how should one live in the house of the life? Prabhupada, in the purport of text 1, quotes from that famous verse from the 5th canto. In the 5th canto, 5th chapter, we read about Lord Rishabhdeva's teachings. Lord Rishabhdeva was an incarnation of Godhead. The incarnations of the Lord are all clearly defined in the revealed scriptures. These days you sometimes meet people who say, I'm an avatar. There was a Hollywood movie made about 10 years ago called Avatar, which was supposedly a big hit. So the word avatar has become common knowledge in almost all over the world. But the avatar means one who descends from the spiritual world to establish dharma. So the genuine incarnations are all listed in the scriptures. So Rishabhdeva was the son of King Nabhi, and his mother's name was Meru-devi. His father, King Nabhi, was performing a big sacrifice. And the goal of the sacrifice was to have the Lord as their son. The Lord was immensely pleased by their sacrifice. And he said, if you want to have a son like me, that's impossible. I will become your son. So he became the son, and he gave us very valuable instructions. The Srimad Bhagavatam is full of instructions given by the Supreme Lord and the devotees of the Lord. So Lord Rishabhdeva had 100 sons. You may say, how is this possible? He's God. A few years ago I was in the Middle East, and I saw a big billboard with about 190 sheikhs with their father. So I asked them, who do these pictures represent? And the local devotee told me, there's a sheikh with his 90 children. For how many wives, that you don't have to ask. So, if an ordinary man can have 70, 80 children, why can't God have 100? Why can I have thousands? So Rishabhdeva gave knowledge to an assembly of Brahmanas, which included his sons. So he says, I am deha bhajam loke. My dear sons, now that you've got this human life, don't waste it like animals. And what should I do? Tapo devyam putraka yena. Perform austerities for the purpose of pleasing the Lord. You may venture to hear sermons by other swamis, sadhus, missionaries. You will find that almost nobody mentions the word tapasya. Nobody wants to talk about austerity. Why? Because they have this fear. The moment we talk about austerity, we're going to lose our following. So we'll talk about Rasa Leela, we'll talk about topics that may attract the innocent public, but they won't talk about the real thing. So Lord Rishabhdeva said, Tavopi puttagasana yena satam, shudayena smart pameso kyamanandam. My dear sons, if you perform austerities for the pleasure of the Lord, in return you will get something. What is that something? Who knows? Who knows? Lord Rishabdev says, Anantam, you will get unending spiritual pleasure. He says, if you perform austerities, in return you will get unending spiritual pleasure. Pleasure in the material world has a beginning and an end. You can identify any type of activity. You will see it has a beginning and an end. But spiritual pleasure never ends, and spiritual assets are never left behind. You may accumulate assets, have a huge bank balance, keep it in safe havens like Switzerland, but still, that's temporary. Whereas, even if you chant the holy name once, that asset stays with you permanently. So Lord Rishabdev says, my dear sons, if you perform austerity to please the Lord, you will get unending spiritual pleasure. So sometimes when we have to perform austerities, of course the austerities that we follow are not that severe. Yudhiṣṭhira Mahārāja, for example, was performing austerities to please the Lord. What did he do? First month, he ate fruits and berries once in 3 days. Second month, he ate dry grass once in 6 days. Third month, stopped dry grass, stopped fruits and water once in 9 days. Fourth month, he will stop water. So we don't tell you, eat once in 3 days, then eat once in 6 days. We told you, if we give you that austerity plan, probably this hall will be empty. But the austerities that we have are not so difficult now compared to a materialist vision. It may be difficult. But these austerities do not go in vain. You may work hard, accumulate assets, but that goes in vain. You work hard, build a bank balance, give it to your children and grandchildren, and in the end they forget you a few days after you pass away. Whereas spiritual assets are eternal. So in replying to Yudhiṣṭhira Mahārāja's question, now the Muni has the following advice. Now the Muni replied, my dear king, those who stay at home as householders must act to earn their livelihood. So that's good news for you. Sometimes people get scared. If our husband takes to Krishna consciousness, who's going to earn money for the family? So here Narada Muni is saying, those who stay at home have to earn their livelihood. Lord Chaitanya was on a tour of South India, and he came and stayed in the house of a devotee called Kurma. Kurma was a Brahmin householder with wife and children. So when Lord Chaitanya came to his house, he washed his feet, said how fortunate we are, and then he said, I am frustrated with householder life. It is not uncommon for householders to stay. I am frustrated with householder life. I want to travel with you and leave home. Lord Chaitanya said, Kurma, you don't have to travel with me. Stay where you are. Chant the holy name and preach the glories of the holy name. Read the Bhagavad Gita and preach the glories of Bhagavatam and Gita. In this way, you will always remain with me, and I will always be with you. This is good news for householders, because sometimes householders get panicky, or what if they leave home? So Lord Chaitanya said, you don't have to leave home. So here, Narada Muni is saying, those who stay at home should earn their livelihood. So we don't say, you're a householder, now you become a devotee, just stay in the temple and chant all day. No, we are practical people. So they have to earn their livelihood, because if they don't earn their livelihood, how will they survive? But then, how to spend your livelihood? That's a key question. You earn livelihood, good. But then, do we pocket everything, or do we share it with the Lord? In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, Karmani evani gṛhasthe āphaleshu gṛha-mūḍha-dhīḥ. Indians are very fond of quoting the first line, Karmani evani gṛhasthe. Bhagavad Gita says, do your duty. That's what I'm doing. I have no time for spiritual life. But in the second line, Krishna says, do your duty and the offering, and offer me the result. That they swallow up. They don't talk about that. Krishna says, do your duty and offer the results to me. Most of us believe in do your duty and pocket the results also. Let's see what Narada Muni has to say. Because Narada Muni's guideline is perfect. Narada Muni says, those who stay at home as householders must act to earn their livelihood. And instead of trying to enjoy the results of their work themselves, they should offer the results to whom? To Krishna. So Narada Muni is saying, offer the results to Krishna. In the absence of spiritual knowledge, we conclude, I am the source of the energy, and I should be the enjoyer. And we want to enjoy the results ourselves. We take great pride in this, saying, oh, it is you, my hard work, that this has taken place. We don't realize that the strength to work has come from the Lord. So the Lord says, A, earn your livelihood. Secondly, He says, earn your livelihood, but don't become the sole enjoyer. Recognize that. Who is the real enjoyer? Krishna. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bhoktaram yagyatapasam sarvaloka maheshwara Suda sarvabhutanam yatam sandhim rajani. Prabhupada in the purport says, being Krishna conscious means understanding three things. Only three things. Not a big list. Bhoktaram. Bhoktaram means enjoyer. I am the only enjoyer and proprietor. What does it mean, Krishna is the enjoyer? Krishna is claiming proprietorship on everything you have. You may have $1 trillion, $1 billion. Krishna says, that's mine, it's not yours. And our material mind says, no, it's yours, it's not the Lord's. What did the Lord do? You did all the effort. But the Lord said, you made the effort because of the ability that I gave you. Is that right? Krishna says, I have also the ability in man. So whatever ability or skills we have are coming from the Lord. And every year they give Nobel prizes to people in different fields, science, physics, and so on. So the Nobel Prize has been given, but they should give Nobel Prize to that personality who gave these individuals the intelligence to do what they did. Just like technology is progressing very, very fast. So who has given the brain to do that? Now you have a small chip, the size of the nail you cut and throw out, that can store umpteen number of items. It just amazes me sometimes. We have it in an assembly, and someone shows you pictures from 5 years ago. These cell phones can store so much. So these, no doubt, technology is making very rapid progress. All of you use the GPS and all that. That's not easy technology. But Krishna gave the intelligence, as a result of which they were able to create all this. So Krishna Krishna is the enjoyer and the proprietor. And one more thing. One was what? And the well-wisher. Krishna is our well-wisher. Prabhupada said, to be Krishna conscious, you must recognize three essential points. Krishna is the proprietor, and if he is the proprietor, he is also the enjoyer. And if he is the enjoyer, then he is our well-wisher. So what does it mean, he is our well-wisher? That means he knows what is best for you. We don't know. Just like a small child. A small child doesn't know what to do. So he relies on the mother and father. So similarly, we should rely on what the Lord says. Prabhupada used to sign his letters by saying, "Your ever well-wisher." So why did Prabhupada say that? When a pure devotee, he acts on behalf of the Lord, giving the Lord's message, which is for our well-being. So the Lord is our well-wisher, which means if Krishna says, "Sarva dharmān parityajya, mahāmekam sharanam aham tvam narataro aham tvam sarva pāpabhyo mokṣāmi māsūca." Krishna says, give up all varieties of religiousness and surrender to me. Māsūca, what does māsūca mean? Please do not worry, I will protect you. When Krishna says, please do not worry, I'll protect you, we have doubts. We say, is this true? Or is it just imagination? But when Amazon says, return the product in 30 days, we have full faith. That's why Krishna says, I'll protect you. So this means use your body, mind and senses in service to the Lord. What is Narada Muni saying? Instead of trying, look at the verse. Narada Muni knows the downside and the positive side. Narada Muni says, instead of trying to enjoy the results of their work themselves, Narada Muni knows that the majority of people will say, we are the enjoyers. So Narada Muni is therefore saying, instead, because he knows that's an inherent weakness, instead of trying to be the enjoyers, the Muni says, we should offer the results to Krishna Vasudeva. So offer the results to the Lord. Now this doesn't mean, suppose you have some livelihood, you offer everything to the Lord and you live on the streets. No. But what the gist is, that we should learn that this effort is being successful with the mercy of the Lord. Therefore, I should also use it to serve the Lord. Now the next question is, how do I get this knowledge? Who is going to guide me? Isn't it? In every sphere, you need a guide. You want to learn how to drive, you need a guide. You want to learn a language, you need a guide. You want to study engineering, You go to college where you have teachers. So in our day-to-day lives, we see at every step we have someone guiding us. Is that true? So similarly, for spiritual life also, you need a guide. The spiritual master, a spiritual teacher, is a guide. When you associate with genuine sadhus, you get guidance. We're talking about genuine sadhus, because there are in society many people who pose as sadhus, but who may not be delivering the real message. The genuine sadhu, as we said yesterday in the lecture last night, he repeats the message as it is, without any distortion. So, how to get this knowledge is can be perfectly understood through the association of great devotees of the Lord. So, by associating with great devotees of the Lord, that means advanced devotees, you can get guidance how you can make the effort, earn a livelihood, how you can offer the results to Krishna, and take guidance from those who are more advanced. In the Yudhiṣṭhira myth, a small book compiled by Rupa Goswami. Yesterday we explained Lord Chaitanya gave Rupa and Sanatan 3 main objectives before he sent them to Vrindavan. One was to write books on devotional service based on his teachings. The other one was to construct temples. The third one was identify places where the Lord has performed his pastimes. Today when we go to Vrindavan, our guide takes us, this Leela was here, this Leela was here. That can be done because the Goswamis did the initial homework, which was confirmed by Lord Chaitanya. Therefore we know all that. So, how to act, take guidance. Rupa Goswami says in this Yudhiṣṭhira myth, a devotee can have 6 types of rasa, the loving exchanges. How many? One is give gifts, accept gifts. So what do we have to give as gifts? Transcendental knowledge. We give transcendental knowledge in the form of books, and we accept donations, etc. in exchange. Next, renew your mind to those who are more advanced and take instructions from them. We reveal our mind to those who are more advanced and take instructions. We often have doubts, queries, concerns. Reveal your mind and take instructions. There's no point in revealing your mind if you're not going to take instructions. Just like Prabhupada said, there's no use to surrender to a guru to accept initiation if you're not going to follow what he says. So similarly, reveal our mind. We may have so many doubts. Here we see that Yudhiṣṭhira Mahārāja is clearing his doubt. So all the doubts can be clarified by approaching somebody more advanced and then taking instruction. So, how to satisfy Vasudeva can be understood through the association of great devotees. That's why it is highly recommended that one should be in the association of devotees, especially those who are more advanced. So, our ultimate goal is to please the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam is offering us the highest knowledge. Vyasadeva had compiled the vast Vedic literature and summarized it in the Mahabharata. He was still feeling there's something lacking in my effort, something missing. And as he was lamenting, meditating, what have I missed out on? Who appeared over there? Narada Muni. And he said, you have not exclusively presented the science of pure devotion. And then came the Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of Vedic knowledge. Yāma kalpa garor galitam papalam. And Prabhupada explains that this ripened fruit is coming from the spiritual world through different individuals sitting in different branches. If something is thrown from the top of the tree, when it hits the ground, will it be in pieces or intact? It will be shattered in pieces. But this Srimad Bhagavatam is coming through the disciplic succession, and therefore it is coming intact. So this Srimad Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit. We should all make it a point to read the Bhagavatam regularly. In the Bhagavatam it is said, Nasta Praeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nastagi. By regularly hearing the Bhagavatam, by regularly reading the Bhagavatam, all that is inauspicious in the heart will be destroyed, and loving service to the Lord will be established. So we should make it a point to regularly read. It would be nice if we all can have once a week, like Bhagavatam class in the temple, ask the senior devotee and the Nandan to lecture, and study the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of Vedic knowledge. So by spiritual association, especially associating with those more advanced, you have to get proper knowledge. And what is that proper knowledge? Chant Hare Krishna. This chanting is a must for anyone desiring to succeed on the spiritual path. Without chanting, you can't make progress. So this chanting is most important. Reading the Bhagavatam and the Gita, and rendering practical service. When we chant the holy name, we are begging the Lord, please engage me in service. When service is offered, we withdraw. We should be anxious to serve. So we should hear the Bhagavatam regularly. The Bhagavatam is full of stories. I often say the Bhagavatam is like a storybook. Presently we read romantic stories, political stories. The Bhagavatam has stories, and every story in the end has a purport. Just like you read the story of King Yayati. He was a king who was very attached to sex life and sense enjoyment. For 10,000 years he had the facility to engage without restriction. In the end he said, I was like a lusty goat. He could not satisfy his senses. Why do we give the example of a lusty goat? A lusty goat is in front of the slaughterhouse, and when it gets a chance, it will engage in sense enjoyment, not realizing in minutes my death is going to happen. So Bhagavatam is full of stories which give us guidance as to how to lead this in life. So as householders, we certainly have responsibility towards our family members. We certainly have responsibility towards children. But we should also have responsibility towards serving the Lord. And how to discharge the two, if confused, you can take guidance. So the Srimad Bhagavatam should be regularly read and practiced. And in this chapter called Ideal Family Life, Narada Muni explains in great in depth. Of course, sometimes we get scared when you read all this, but it's good to know as to what is our ultimate goal. You may not be able to realize that. If you know what the goal is, you can march forward towards realizing the goal. So please take advantage of this knowledge and perfect your life. Hare Krishna.